Yeah, I'm alright. I was gonna say no. Well, I mean, today's been a constant. Today's been a little brain breaking. I keep on saying whenever I get up every day, I think since Trump's been inaugurated, okay, every day has gotten worse. Okay, every day has topped the day before it in severity and how crazy it's been, and that trend is continuing. Yeah, it's actually insane. It's insane how I mean, they set up Zelensky on purpose. I can't watch it, by the way. I cannot watch it. One second. Yeah. Let's see. Black Pill Friday. Like, sub, call in. Not even just embarrassing, but just knowing we're here, you know. Let me think how to talk about that. By the way, I bought this peace tea today. So, if you drink soda or like brisk, Pepsi is they're dropping their woke programs, but Coca-Cola is keeping their woke programs. So if you're going to buy between Pepsi or Coca-Cola, okay, buy Coca-Cola. All right, don't buy Pepsi anymore. We're boycotting Pepsi, we're buying Coca-Cola. All right. Those are some new ground rules that we're going to set. Congratulate Zelensky. One second. Okay, so my thoughts on Trump and Zelensky today. They definitely zet they set Zelensky up. Okay, they wanted to make sure it was going to be a spectacle. They put Trump in a position to do his apprentice reality TV thing, and they're really good at propaganda. So if you know nothing about the situation, if you have no idea what's happening, then Zelensky probably comes off bad. But you see him being overpowered by the most powerful and wealthy country of all time, which is one of the dumbest men to ever be president, and J.D. Vance, one of the slimiest, disgusting politicians ever, screaming over him as he's speaking, Zelensky speaking in his like fourth language, making more cogent points. Trump is lying about Zelensky being. Trump lies about him being a dictator. He says you don't really have men in Ukraine. You would have died in a week without the U.S. You should be grateful and thank us, which Zelensky has done on multiple occasions. He constantly is thanking countries that offer him support. He tries to connect to America. Zelensky talks to Americans in a way that is positioning himself in the American story. So getting independence from the king. Okay, when we came over here during the American Revolution, we started a new country, okay? But the entire issue is America is no longer connected to struggle. America is a pampered baby brat, and Donald Trump represents that. A pampered baby brat. They don't know how this affects them. They're going to sit there and complain about Zelensky not wearing a suit, complain about this funding that they don't really know about. They're going to believe bullshit numbers from Trump, and he's a whiner. And they like the whining because America's a bunch of whiny little baby brats who don't have to go through that much. Americans don't need to go through that much. As a country, We never had to fight these wars on our soil. America never had to do that. We don't understand that struggle. We really don't. We always play isolationist in history. We always get wrapped up in it in the end. It's bad for us to do it as well. But we always play isolationist. Me, me, me. Our Christian nation is about me, me, me. Because the Christianity here is about power and domination. It's not about real Christianity. It's not about really helping the world. Donald Trump refuses to say one negative thing about Putin. He refuses to say one negative thing about Putin, about Xi Jinping, about Kim Jong-un. He talks about them like they're siblings, like his brothers, like a brotherly, like a brotherly rivalry. Okay. He talks about France, the UK, Canada, like they are the devil. Ukraine, like they are the devil. Not saying one negative thing the entire time about Vladimir Putin, because Trump wants to be Putin. And we're in a position right now as a country where that was obviously really bad, but domestically, the things you see in Russia, where they go after political opponents, extrajudicial imprisonings, murders, that stuff's going to be happening here, okay? They're all loyalists. The Republican politicians are physically fearful of going against Trump. It's not even an institutional thing at this point. They are physically fearful of going against Trump because they don't think they're going to be safe if they go against Trump. They don't think they'll be safe or their families are going to be safe. And they're probably right. Like, that's one reason you applaud Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, because they have to have 24/7 security, okay? The most violent people in our country want them dead. Being Republicans who portrayed Trump. But it's going to take public opinion shifting tons against Trump for them to be confident enough to move against him. And I don't know if the American public has it in them. The American public is going to need to do it for self-serving reasons, because the American public has no humility. The American public has no ability to care for other people. The American public is losing all of that. And yeah, I cannot watch it. I cannot watch Zelensky coming from a weak position. Here's one big thing. Here's one big thing. In a normal world, of course, Trump looks terrible. So right here is the big picture I took away from today. All right, Donald Trump sitting next to Zelensky. I'll make it a little bit bigger. 1 second. I stopped on this freeze frame for a very significant reason. Okay. Okay, so this is from today. When I see okay, I'm trying to think the emotions I went through earlier. I have a difficult time watching what happened today in the White House. I have not been able to watch it. I have read the transcripts. I cannot watch it. Having this person who never experienced any pain, who never experienced human emotion, who never worked a day in his life, this person representing the United States is the perfect representation of how America is a brat, is a crybaby, is a spoiled child who wants America's way. Americans don't even know how this works, okay? But they're mad about it for some reason because he convinced them to be mad. Him. He convinced you to be mad at your neighbors. He convinced you to be anti-Ukraine and pro-Russia. Him. Meanwhile, Zelensky. Okay, so richest country in the world, brat mentality, baby mentality. Needs to dominate people because he's not a real leader. Meanwhile, Ukraine being invaded by Russia. Trump calls him a dictator. Trump lies about the aid numbers to his face. All right? He's supposed to just take it. He reacts at all. We can call in a second. He reacts at all. All right? He gets called out for being unappreciative of the U.S. First off, if you have that mentality, you are in no way, shape, or form a follower of Jesus Christ. You are spiteful, you are vengeful, you are an insignificant, spoiled brat. When I see this smile and the thumbs up, it reminds me of a thumbs up that says, "Hey, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay." You know, like in a movie or in real life, when like a fatherly character will be like, he'll give that like slight nod and that like smile to the kid before he dies in combat, and it's not a laugh, it's not victory, but it's like, hey, like, I want to give you assurance, it'll be okay. That is what Zelensky looks like here to me. And then I see this, which is the embodiment of everything wrong with America, glaring down at him, wanting to steal from that country, wanting to exploit the weak people here, blaming Ukraine for being invaded, taking the side of Russia. The only U.S. ally Donald Trump speaks positively of is Israel, which is an authoritarian country invading a smaller, weaker population. Okay? The only world leaders Trump speaks good about are dictators or authoritarians from authoritarian countries. He screams, okay? He screams at Zelensky nonstop. Meanwhile, Netanyahu comes. What does he do for him? Tucks him into the chair. Pulls out the chair for him. Pats him on the belly. Trump talks about wanting to have better relationships with Russia. He refuses to critique Russia once. It's clear Trump wants to be an authoritarian. He wants to flex power. He has no ideology. He doesn't really care about that. He wants power to go after people he doesn't like. He's a spiteful prick. Like, he's really nothing. But he is a propagandist. He's a manipulator. So he's going to successfully convince many Americans to follow along with him. And the question is, how do we fight for the soul of America? To quote freaking Joe Biden. Because that's the real battle that we're facing right now. Okay, if you want to call in, call in. Drop a like on the stream. Drop a like on both streams to help me in the algorithm if you want to hang out. Drop some likes. If you don't want to call in, we could do some more reactions. It doesn't matter. I'm just here to hang out, man. Yeah, Ben, call in.
Call from
Herb.
Hello.
Hello?
Howdy.
How you doing?
I am doing all right. How are you?
Good. I just ran across your stream. I want to know why you think Trump hates America.
He hates the concept of democracy, the concept of freedom, the concept of people being free to critique him. He cozies up to every dictator worldwide, and he hates our allies that have free countries.
All right. Do you consider Zelensky a dictator?
By every definition of dictator, Zelensky is nowhere near a dictator.
Okay, but Putin is a dictator, correct?
Yes, Putin is a dictator.
Okay.
Okay. Did you mean to leave? Did you intentionally hang up? Was that on purpose? I'm guessing you bumped it. You can call back. I see your number. I don't think he meant to hang up, but you can come back. You can blame it all on me. Baby, come back. Hi from Michigan. Hello. Please drop a like on the stream. Yeah, this will help a unified Europe. It'll help Europe more definitively support their defense building capabilities. So that's good. I don't know if this guy meant to hang up.
Hi, it's Josh.
Okay. All right. He meant to hang up. All right. Someone else call in. I saw someone else trying. Good conversation. Good conversation. It might be too late to get viewers too. It might be too late, to be fair. It is pretty sleepy hours. Pretty sleepy hours, if we're being honest. But make sure you drop a like on the stream, spam some conversations in the chat. All right, we have no close enough. Okay, well, that person was gonna call in. They did not call in. I'll call back this person. They were calling a couple times. I don't know what number this is, but
Excellent. Hey.
hi, this is the Jolah YouTube guy. What's up?
Oh, nothing, man. I'm listening to your stuff. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah?
So you read the Bible, right?
You can ask me a question.
Yeah, I just did.
Do I read the Bible? Have I read the Bible? I have read the Bible. Do I read the Bible currently? No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just wondering, like, how does it work with you advocating for Jesus in the Bible and people calling?
We're talking about some politics. Do you have any political questions?
Politics.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you have any experience in politics?
You have questions about any, like, current topics?
I just asked you a question.
No, like, talk about the news.
What news?
Any news. What do you want to talk about? What are you calling in for? You called. You people are useless, dude. Someone else call in. I'm gonna try poking you with a stick. You think the Bible is a history book? Parable. They're parables. This guy. I'm gonna talk to this guy. You people suck, dude. What did this person say?
Hey, I just wanted to say, I think that guy is pretty fucking. And not only that, I think it's less
All right, we're cooked. We're cooked tonight, guys. We're cooked. We are cooked. We are cooked.
Hello?
Hi, this is the Jolah Politics guy. What's up?
How's it going, man?
Going all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I was just watching your stuff. I'm not a typical, let's say, Trump supporter, but I have a question on what happened today with Trump and Zelensky, and I think he was pretty spot on. I'm trying to understand what's your problem? What's your problem with Trump, with Zelensky?
Trump lied about the amount of funding the U.S. gave Ukraine. Trump lied about Zelensky being a dictator. Trump lied about Putin being a trustworthy, I guess, someone we can actually trust to uphold treaties. Putin does not uphold any treaties or agreements or ceasefires or anything. Trump blames Ukraine for the war and says that Ukraine has not fought hard enough, but Russia has. A bunch of really stupid things. And also, when it comes to a global stage, probably some of the dumbest statements by a U.S. president in American history, to be honest, on a national stage.
I mean, to be honest, as a person who originally from another country, my outlook of Trump is totally different. But anyways, I know he's like a talker, he's like a showman, Trump, right? And he wants to, shove around his power and everything like that. But what do you wanna see with the war? You want the war to end, right? Like period. With Russia and Ukraine, no matter what, you want it to end, right? That's the ultimate goal you would be happy about, right?
No, my ultimate goal is defending Ukraine. I would not want Ukraine to surrender to Russia because eventually Russia is going to take all of Ukraine if we appease Russia.
Well, they're not saying that. They're not taking the whole Ukraine. The whole thing started because Ukraine wanted to be in NATO,
Russia
right?
said Ukraine is not a real country. No, it did not start because of that. Russia just wants to take over Ukraine.
Putin is a dictator, okay? Putin is just like every other dictator. But I'm just saying, for the sake of the world and the world peace, right?
There will not be world peace. Putin has not listened to any ceasefire or peace deal. Putin has violated everything. He violated the ceasefire in 2015. He violated a defense treaty that denuclearized Ukraine when he invaded them.
Why
again.
do you think
he's going to keep on invading.
Why do you think he invaded Ukraine? Isn't it the NATO thing? Like Ukraine wants to, be in NATO, and Russia was like, I cannot have NATO near me. And all that with other countries also.
So basically,
NATO.
Russia either wants Ukraine to be a part of Russia or in favor of Russia. Yes, they either want Ukraine to be a part of Russia or in favor of Russia. So when there was a revolution in 2014, that's why Putin eventually is invading. Not because of NATO, because NATO has been a discussion for Ukraine for literally over 30 years. George Bush made a huge push to get Ukraine in NATO. I think France and Germany denied it. If it was about that, Putin would have invaded earlier. The big thing is Ukraine is becoming too free and too democratic, and Putin does not like that. Putin wants control of Ukraine.
But Russia wants a smaller part of Ukraine. Like for now, what Trump wants to negotiate and make an agreement is just a small part of Ukraine, right? Just now. I'm talking about now. You don't know what Putin is going to do next. But
if
for
they
now,
had soldiers in Ukraine,
do, right?
No. Okay, so if they want to do that, like I said, appeasing Russia, they will violate that deal. There's no sign anywhere that Russia would listen to that. Russia would violate that deal, and that's why arming Ukraine and funding Ukraine and Europe as well, having troops probably in Ukraine is going to be necessary because Russia's going to push up all the way to Poland. Russia's going to push all the way through.
Russia
I mean, they already
is not
have.
doing that. Russia
Not
is
yet,
not Union.
But if you read
Russia
any history of Russia
anymore.
or of any authoritarian
My
country,
guy, Russia
they slowly
isn't
degrade,
Soviet
they
Union
slowly
anymore.
rip away from these countries. That's their end goal. That's why they want to weaken Ukraine to this extent.
Russia is just stronger than Ukraine, but it's not what it used to like. It's not Soviet Union anymore. Russia is way less. Russia has way less power than that.
They're a nuclear power, and they want to restore
North
the former
Korea
Soviet
has
Union.
nuclear power. Iran has nuclear power. It doesn't
Yes,
mean
and that's
shit.
why we need
I'm
to
just
stop
saying
them when they
total-
want to start doing this. We need to not appease them, not just give them wins here,
If
not
you have a
rewrite the borders.
dictator-
We need to keep on supporting Ukraine and not give Russia what they
But-
want.
Okay, then the war is gonna continue. You have to make an agreement. Okay, you cannot.
It
be
will continue
always right.
regardless. I'm saying that the fake treaty is going to be fake and Russia's going to deny it. We have to keep on having you. What I said before, you can end the war. If you want to give Russia land or whatever, then let Ukraine become part of NATO. Let Ukraine become part of NATO or have NATO troops in Ukraine. But if the U.S. does not, but I'm just saying if the U.S. does not actually back that, if we cannot trust, if the U.S. is compromised, then we can't really trust those security guarantees. So it's a really difficult situation that Ukraine's in because the U.S. wants like 50% of their total resources in order to offer any security guarantees, which is insane.
That's crazy. I'm gonna give you that.
That's the big issue here.
Okay, I cannot be just one-sided. Okay, I cannot be full Ukraine supported. You have to look the other side as well, right?
You can be on. Okay, I don't care about sides. I care about the correct. I care about correct things. If you say something correct, I'll give you points. I don't care about what side.
Let Russia become NATO member. Like what the? You know what I mean? Like
we need NATO to defend from Russia. That makes no sense to make Russia a NATO member. They'll give them a blank security guarantee. That would not make any sense. NATO is a thing because of Russia, and because of North Korea, and because of countries like that.
But just look from somebody else's point of view. Just look as a Russian, right? Look as a Russian. Your enemy was the U.S., right, and NATO eventually, right? And then the countries who joined NATO started to increase, and almost half the border of you is NATO members now. You can have a say. You have to have a say to say, stop doing that. You cannot become a NATO member. Just stop. You know what I mean? But they made agreements, but the NATO memberships continued. So you have to just look at, okay, you can say Russia is the enemy. You can say Russia cannot do anything
Has
right.
Russia said anything about joining NATO within the last 20 years?
What's that? Say it again.
Has Russia said anything about joining NATO within the past 20 years?
Joining NATO, Russia? No,
Russia has not talked about seriously joining NATO since the collapse of the Soviet Union.
That's what you want to hear. You know what I mean?
No, Russia has not said that. No, Russia has not said that. You can make all these propagandistic claims if you want, but Russia has not said that. Russia has seen NATO as an open adversary since the early 2000s because after the collapse of the Soviet Union, they were going towards a more democratic system, but Putin came in and his revolution helped maintain their dictatorship that they have today. Putin rolled that out after the first discussions were floated with Gorbachev and under Yeltsin before Putin took power. But when Putin took power, that was out the window. NATO was a direct adversary at that point, for sure. So everything you're saying right now is ahistorical and not true from a foreign global landscape.
What's your question? What's your point on that?
You are saying dumb things. That's my point.
Okay, I can.
They're
tell
not
you
based
that
in fact.
Some things. We can talk about that. But I'm just saying, you cannot always be right. And what Trump needs to be is the middleman.
You can be right. Okay, there are situations in which you are right or wrong. There is a right or wrong path of action. That is a thing. You cannot just be a hypercentrist because you want to seem agreeable.
Then there will be war.
Then, yes, there will be war. Yes, that's unavoidable at this point. That's
there
unavoidable. No,
war.
I want to defend Ukraine. I want to defend Ukraine, give Ukraine security guarantees. So Russia, if they do this again, they know war will start. But at this point, if Russia's going to be this antagonistic towards Ukraine, and if we're going to give Russia a huge win, there's going to be war is going to happen in any scenario. In any scenario moving forward, unless if. It's guaranteed that Russia's going to keep on. There's no evidence at all. Like with Georgia and Ukraine and Belarus, they have not respected any treaty anywhere at any time. If Finland can be a part of NATO, so can Ukraine. There should be no issue with Ukraine being part of NATO, and Russia should be okay with that. And Russia should stop attacking people and focus on their actual economy. That's collapsing.
Because Russia is the bad guy, right? Always bad guy and always will be. That's the mentality.
Yeah, when you have Vladimir Putin, one of the most brutal dictators of all time.
No.
Yeah, you are a bad guy.
Trump a dictator.
Oh, how dare I say Putin's a bad guy? That's offensive. Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's
crazy. Do you think Zelensky's a dictator? Do you think Zelensky's a dictator? Do you think Zelensky's a dictator? Okay.
No. So there always be dictators. You're saying Trump is a dictator. For me, he's not.
No. I said he wants to be a dictator. I said he wants to be. I'm not saying he is yet.
And he acts like one, okay?
He loves dictators. He loves dictators. He loves them.
He loves the show, right?
He hates free countries.
Okay, man, whatever. So, but Putin on the other end and Russian people has a right on their own to feel safe on their own. They don't want NATO next to their borders.
Can you name one point of NATO aggression towards Russia? Can you name one time NATO aggressed on Russia?
They can't because Russia didn't do shit. Russia didn't.
NATO's defensive. Why is
Ukraine.
Russia afraid of NATO if NATO never went after Russia? In fact, Russia doing this Ukraine invasion made NATO grow. That's why Finland joined.
Yeah,
that's why
what
these
I'm
other
saying.
countries joined.
He invaded Ukraine. That's the NATO response. Now they're fighting for the last couple of years. What's your point? That doesn't make any sense. You
don't make any sense.
Other people. You have to look
make arguments.
Saying,
Stop saying broad statements like you have to look from other people's perspective. Say the actual points you're making.
Okay, Trump has to be the middleman, and he's doing a right job by listening to the both ends and not leaning on one side only like the previous president.
Can you name one thing Trump said bad about Putin in the past 2 months?
Yeah, he said that Putin needs to stop now. This has been a crazy war. It shouldn't be happening. Because it's a madness that.
Okay, why do you think, just on your personal opinion, why do you think Trump refuses? Why do you think Trump refuses to put the blame on Russia for the invasion? Why does he say Ukraine got into the war?
Because he has to be the middleman.
So he needs to lie about the state of the war in order to be the middleman. He needs to lie and say Russia.
Okay, but
he does always lie. True.
He on the politics side, because Russian president is listening what he says in the media. He cannot be
New
like
donation
Putin is a
from God
dictator,
Emperor.
Putin is a Batman, and
$20,
next day
yo
sit on the
Jolah,
same
it's
seat
your
with
day.
Putin and
Beat
Zelensky
drops, yo
and be
Jolah,
the
it's
middleman,
time to shine cake
right?
good vibes and a glass
That's
of
it.
wine.
That's what U.S. has been
Big
after
dreams,
the
big
World War
wins,
II.
all on the
He's
way.
been the
Turn
police
up,
of
have
the world.
fun.
He's been the middleman
HBD
of
from
the world. Make
Checked.
deals. Make peace. That's it.
The police of the world is not the same as supplying defenses. Police of the world is like if you go into countries and try to police them and make them democracies. Giving like aid to Ukraine is not the same thing, and our military has not been in
Okay,
Ukraine.
don't go off topic. What I'm trying to say is,
Thank you for the
Trump,
donation for
what he's
$20.
doing-
Thank you so much for happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, keep going.
yeah. So what Trump is doing, I know it looks bad. Okay, he looks like a bully. I get that.
So
And
he needs
you're
to say
saying-
Russia is good and Ukraine bad. He needs to like
He needs
make
to
trade
balance.
relations normal with
He needs to
Russia.
balance. In the media, Ukraine is the best thing. In the media, Russia is the
Okay,
bad
so
guy. He has
okay,
to
so
balance that.
if the media says that Ukraine got invaded by Russia, which is true, Russia needs to lie. We need to have like a balance between the truth and lies. You're saying we need to lie.
No, on the political level, if you want
You
to,
need to
if
lie.
you want Putin,
Interesting.
yeah, obviously politicians
So
lie.
you
You're
want people
saying
to
somebody
blame-
is a saint?
You want Americans to hate Ukraine. Why is America hating Ukraine a good
No,
thing?
no,
Like,
guy,
that's what Trump
my
is
guy, I'm
convincing.
not
That's
saying
what
to
Trump is
hate.
convincing America to do.
I'm
Like
not
sentiment
saying
towards
to
Ukraine has
hate.
been going down because of Trump lying about them. And blaming Ukraine for the
That-
invasion. He said
that's-
that Russia
that's his
deserves to keep their
business.
land because Russia fought for it. Russia fought for the land.
That's his
They
business.
deserve
What
to
he's
keep
done
it.
in this country, that's his business. I'm saying on the world stage, you have to be balanced with everybody. You cannot be saying good things about one
There's
side
not a
and bad
balance
things
between
about-
Nazi Germany. There's not a balance in Nazi Germany.
Bro,
They're bad. They're
I'm
still going to be
talking
the
Russia.
aggressor. They're still
Don't
going to be
have
bad.
Give me example of
They're still going to be
Nazi
bad.
Germany.
Yeah, some things are bad, some things are good. That makes, yeah, some things are good things, some things are bad. You need to have balance between the fake things and the real things. When Trump said Zelensky's a dictator and Russia deserves the land they fought for, he actually is helping Ukraine by lying, because we need to keep a balance, all right? The media believes in the fake narrative that Russia invaded Ukraine. Trump needs to counterbalance that fake narrative by lying. Yeah, I mean, I can't pick a side, dude. I mean, Ukraine started their own invasion. Ukraine was asking Russia to invade them. I mean, Ukraine invaded themselves, bro. Remember, ethnically Russian. Yeah, that's the great argument. Okay, call in. Someone else call in. Hurry. Hurry before I get... Oh, yeah, thank you for the $20 again. Thank you for the happy birthday. We really appreciate it. Please drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. If Russia stops, war will stop. Well, according to Trump, it's Ukraine's fault. According to Trump, it's Ukraine's fault. And Trump even blamed NATO on the invasion, or he blamed the invasion on NATO. Like, Trump's gonna leave NATO. He wants to weaken NATO. He wants to kill it. Like he's working on behalf of China and Russia. It's blatantly obvious. Nice. What is this guy saying, bro?
You won't talk because you can't. You have no idea. Just keep spewing, and then it will tell everyone how stupid you are. Otherwise, call me back.
Nice.
Call from
Muy.
Hello?
Hello. So I've been listening to your argument for a little bit, and I would just like to hear your perspective about the thing. What would you have done if you were the mediator between these two leaders? What would you do differently that would end the war?
I would continue supplying Ukraine. I would put European troops in Ukraine on the eastern side. I'd offer security guarantees to Ukraine and offer a path to NATO to Ukraine. That's what I would have done. Probably earlier. I would have let Ukraine strike inside Russia earlier than the U.S. did, than Biden did. They should have been able to be more aggressive earlier. That was a big mistake. And even the EU right now is saying the same thing. They wish they... Thank you, Jeff, for $100. Jeff, you're insane. Jeff, thank you. But yeah.
Okay, you are a U.S. citizen, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
So you would just offer security guarantees, which is the same thing that caused the war in the first place. Because
That's not
remember
true.
Tucker Carlson went and interviewed Putin last year.
Tucker
and he
Carlson is a
said,
paid propagandist for Russia. He's paid by them. That's why he's in Russia all the time.
Bro, stop saying that.
He
You
legitimately
cannot
is on the
negotiate
payroll of the
between-
Kremlin. Yes, he
you
is. It's
can-
proven. It's
you
been in the
can't
financial
negotiate
disclosures.
Two people, you can negotiate between two powerful people and not listen to each person's
Okay. No,
perspective.
make actual arguments. Don't propagandize me. Make your points.
Exactly what I'm saying.
No,
So
make
you
your points.
can't
Make your
say
points.
that
Now
all
make
of
your
us-
substantial
you can't
points. Okay.
make
Don't bring
the whole
in.
American population to just trust the narrative of the media and say everybody must hate Putin because we just have to deal with them and go put security guarantees when that's the first thing that caused the thing in the first
Nope,
place.
that's not true. That's not true at all. That's
That
not
is
true
actually
whatsoever. Nope,
partly
that's
true.
not true. That is not true whatsoever.
Okay.
The only way that security guarantees cause the war is because Putin wants to take Ukraine and control Ukraine. That's the only reason security guarantees would cause a war is because Putin doesn't want Ukraine to be protected. He wants Ukraine to be weak
No.
and available. Yep,
I
that
don't
is explicitly
believe-
what
I don't
Putin said.
believe
Putin said Ukraine is not a real country. Putin said Ukraine is part of the USSR, the former Soviet Union. He wants to restore the former Soviet Union with a new modern Russia. And he said that as he
That's
started
the-
the invasion. So that's 100% true. That's what Putin wants Ukraine. Wants of
That's
Ukraine.
not 100%.
And that's why Putin doesn't care. That's why
true.
he doesn't care that Finland joined. That's why he doesn't care that Finland, another bordering country of Russia, joined NATO. He doesn't
So
care
you're
about them
jumping
because
to
he doesn't care
conclusions.
about
People that
he doesn't
do
care about
this,
taking them
that does not-
over.
This behavior does not lead to any peace from anybody.
Hey, make an
That's
argument. Make an
behavior.
argument, bro. Make an argument.
My argument is that if you want peace between two parties,
No, make arguments with
with
actual
conflict.
facts on the ground. Make arguments talking about real things
actual
that
fact
happen.
on the
Stop using
ground is
broad.
that the
Stop
American
using broad
position
things.
cannot be. American
Okay,
position
now
cannot
tell
be
me
to
why.
continue
Tell
to
me
spend
why. Make an
money.
actual argument. Make an argument. Tell me why.
My argument is that the American population should not continue to spend their taxpayer money.
Oh,
to
the
support
taxpayer
a war
dollars.
without
Oh, that's a little bit
strategy to win
different.
it.
That's a little bit different from NATO expansion being a pro. Okay, so it's the American taxpayer. Now that's the issue. Okay, so yeah, what's your solution?
My solution is exactly what Trump is offering.
Ooh.
Do you understand?
Okay, so
of
give
going
Russia
there
everything they
to put
want.
American troops.
Pillage
Instead of
Ukraine
there to go
of half the
Listen.
resources.
Instead-
Make Russia ally and Ukraine an enemy. Yeah, that's a really good plan for Ukraine. That sounds
That
great.
is not exact. That's not what he said. You should be listening to the news. He said, "I
Well,
would
Trump
like
said
to go."
he said
put,
Zelensky's a dictator. So
is he not? Has he done any election? in how many years
Zelensky
now?
is not a dictator. No, the martial law
Has
is
he done
democratic.
any
The opposition
election
party.
No.
The
Explain
election.
to me how
Actually,
somebody-
the martial law is democratically done. The opposition party in Ukraine is in favor of Ukraine being Zelensky being in power because it's in their constitution. That's how they run their government. They run their elections. They have martial law.
You have
that is
never
done
seen any
democratically.
human being- Have you never heard of any human being take advantage of that? Just because of that hunger for
The
power.
opposition party in
Continue to-
Ukraine
continue-
that does not like Zelensky is supporting him staying in power because that is what Ukraine law says, and they have gone on the media to reject Donald Trump's dumbass claims about it. Do you have anything
Okay.
else? Because Zelensky is not a dictator. Do you think Putin's a
So-
dictator?
I think Putin might be a dictator, but what we don't
Okay.
want is third world war. And I don't support America putting their hands into anything that was going to escalate to the point of third world war. And I also don't support Americans funding that war endlessly. That doesn't make any sense. So the only opportunity that we have now to solve this problem is what President Trump is offering, that we don't have to actually put physical soldiers in Ukraine, but what we are going to do is have a joint investment with Ukraine in Ukraine. When we have that kind of joint interest in Ukraine, Russia will not be able to come and do incursion in Ukraine because we know that we have national interest there. If that is the case, that's a subtle way of saying we are protecting you without actually putting soldiers there. Do you
Do you
understand?
think
That's
the numbers
pathway
are
to
reasonable?
peace.
Okay, no. Okay, this is the problem right now is that Trump said he wants 50% of all resources in Ukraine. If it was a reasonable number, then my position would be different. If it was 5% of resources, I'd probably have a much different tone. He
Why
wants
should
half
it be
of the resources of
5%?
Ukraine.
Why? No. Listen. Why
probably
should
shouldn't be
America
anything. It should
be
probably
the
just be
only
joint
country
investments.
giving out? when we are in trillions
That's
of
not true.
dollars
The
in debt.
EU has given more money than we have, and we have paid Americans to produce weapons.
how
We
we are
have not
in
given
debt
more money.
as a country.
As a percent of GDP, we are ranked 17th in support of Ukraine. We are
But you have
17th
not paid
globally as percent of
But have
GDP.
you
We are
paid it down?
17th. We are
Have you been-
17th. We are 17th in
Explain out to
support
me-
of Ukraine
Explain
with our
how you've been
GDP.
paying it down.
We're not even top
Explain
10.
how we've been paying. How have we been paying
We're
it
not
down
even
in the
top
last
10. We're
couple
not
of
even
years?
top 10 in support of Ukraine. We're not even top 10. We give
So
more
we
in
should
tax breaks to
continue to be in
Apple.
debt.
We give more in tax
We
breaks to
should-
Apple than we do in supporting Ukraine. Don't make arguments
If
about
we
the debt that
continue-
you don't know about, you freaking propaganda spy
I
bitch ass. Get out of here. Okay, someone else call him. I want to talk to an American. Enough of these accents. I know you're on a payroll, but you're trying to do your job. If you have an accent, I'm sorry, but you're not talking. Talking to Americans. Okay, let me see here. Okay, yeah. Thank you for the one gifted membership, Suri. Thank you for the one gifted membership. He's like, Mazwai, Russia needs to invade Ukraine, and we need to give Ukraine, we need to pillage them of the resources. If another Soviet mother trucker joins this chat. Oh,
The
man.
wireless
Cool. Okay,
New donation from Vanguard. $15 for eggs.
thank you, Vanguard, for $50. Thank you.
call from
Chris.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Going all right. How about you?
Not bad.
What's
I've
up?
been listening. Not much. Just a couple of things. One, I understand that NATO hasn't attacked. You know, they are, like you said, they're a defensive country. But also, I think what you're failing to either remember or mention is that the fact that when the USSR disbanded, there was also an agreement that no country on
NATO would
Russian
not
borders,
move to the east. Is that what you're gonna say?
Right. Well,
That was well. That never happened. That was not true. That's not a real thing.
I mean,
But what are you
it's
gonna
not
say
a
about
real
borders?
thing.
What are you gonna say about borders?
What do you mean?
No, the whole quote from like 19 whatever during I think Bush's administration, H.W. Bush, where they said not 1 inch to the east, or yeah, not one inch to the 1 inch to the east for NATO. That was never any type of policy or deal. That was an offhanded comment that people report was said. That was never anything at all. What there actually was like the Budapest Memorandum, the Budapest agreements where we helped denuclearize Ukraine. Russia was involved in that. Russia violated that treaty, and then Russia also violated the ceasefire in 2015. So like there's a lot of other things that really did happen that Russia like did wrong.
Oh yeah, Russia's definitely violated, you know, several things, but I mean, I don't see how that's any different than any other country. And I'm not a fan of the war, by the way. I'm not somebody that wants to just let Ukraine, you know, join Russia. But, you know, out of everything that's happened, you know, like, I know that Zelensky isn't a dictator. I don't even think he's a dictator. But Ukraine has not really played by the rules, you know, from the Obama administration, and I'm sure even going back to Bush, you know, like I'm not even a MAGA person, you know.
Played
I'm
by
not,
what
like,
rules?
Totally for Trump. Democratic rules, you know. I know earlier when I started listening about 15 minutes ago, you said something about Ukraine being democratic. Now, you know, once again, I don't think that Zelensky is a dictator. You know, I don't go that far. But at the same time, to say that Ukraine is the bastion of
No one. Okay.
democracy
I need to shut that down right away. I'm
in
sorry. I have to
Eastern
shut it down
Europe.
right away. I have to shut it down right away because no one ever said that. I said they are a democratic country that wants to move west and join NATO to be more democratized. That's why they had a revolution in
yeah.
2014. We're not saying they're a
Yep.
bastion of democracy. We're not saying that no country does bad things. We're saying that Russia is uniquely bad. They are uniquely bad. And they invaded Ukraine. And by the way, during Bush, they were owned by a puppet government for Russia. And most of Obama, they were under a puppet government for Russia. There's a revolution in 2014, and Russia, that's why Russia took Crimea, that's why Russia started invading, is because there was a revolution, and Ukraine became more democratic and became more free. And Russia does not like that. They do not want Ukraine to be free.
No, they don't, and I don't disagree with you there that they don't want Ukraine to be free, but we live in a world, unfortunately, where free people are becoming less and less. Like, that's not nothing new to me. I just don't think that in the big picture, okay, I don't think that Russia can do much more than what it's already done. Because Russia has roughly the same GDP as like California, roughly in that ballpark. Like, it has exhausted their resources, just the little bit of land that they've taken.
Well, yeah, that's why I want to keep on funding Ukraine. That's why I want to keep funding them.
You see, I wouldn't have a problem with funding Ukraine if we didn't have so many issues going on here. And once again, that's why
I'm sorry. Okay, make your argument there, but we have to talk about that point because everyone brings up the issues here, but it's a bullshit point. Do you want to talk about that point?
I mean, how is it a bullshit point? You don't even know what issues, one, that I'm thinking about
right
in my
now,
mind,
for example,
and two, to say that we don't have any issues.
No, I never said that. I never said that. Okay, if you're gonna be stop being you're being a brat right now. Chill. In America, Donald Trump, chill. Donald Trump wants to raise the deficit by $2 trillion per year. The Republican budget wants to surge the deficit, but I'm saying we're giving huge tax cuts. We give more in tax cuts to like 2 corporations than we have given in total Ukraine funding, because most of the funding we did not even send to Ukraine. We paid American weapon manufacturers, and also Europe has sent more money than we did. Europe has funded the Ukraine defense more than America has. So we have to stop at. We are 17th in Ukraine funding right now. We are 17th. We are ranked 17th in funding Ukraine as a percentage of total GDP.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I don't get what the issue is. But just to
what
be
issues
fair,
in America do you think we can't deal with if we support Ukraine?
It's not just Ukraine. I don't necessarily support funding
Israel.
I definitely don't defend supporting Israel whatsoever. I don't think they should get $1 of our money. I think next to the CIA, Israel is the second largest terrorist organization in the world.
Okay, why do you? Then I have a big question for you. Then, why is Trump saying that Ukraine started the war? Why is he saying Zelensky's a dictator? Why is he refusing to say he's refusing to say bad things about? Okay, listen. That's not a real argument. He's not. Okay, he is a child, true, but he wants to. You just said that about Israel. He wants to fund the shit out of Israel. Netanyahu came in. He tucked him in with his pajamas on. But then Trump. Okay, why? Okay. Well, let me finish my one thing. Okay, Trump is extremely pro funding Israel. He loves Israel. He wants to turn Gaza, the Holy Land, into casinos and a giant Trump statue. He is the literal Antichrist. Yep. But like when it comes to Ukraine, he is pro-Russia. He seems to be more pro-Russia. So he's pro-funding Israel, but he's not pro-funding Ukraine. I'd rather flip that around and be anti-funding Israel and be pro-funding Ukraine, in my opinion.
I mean, you know what? If you made me pick one of the two countries which our money goes to, I would be with you on that. If
I'll take
made
it.
Me had to pick,
I'll take it, dude. I'll take
two.
it. No, but good. I'll take it, bro. I'll take it.
But see, man, I just try to approach things with common sense. That's why I was, trying to get out of the way. Like, look, I am not a Trump supporter. So, I'm not trying. I'm not one of the crazy people. But also, there's a lot of things that progressives say that I think that they just take too far. I consider myself a 100% independent because there's things on both sides. Like, I honestly hate Trump. I cannot stand the dude, but I don't think that the far left does themselves any favors when they try to argue over things that I don't think are as important as the things that they should be arguing about. And not because I'm pro-Russia, okay? It's not because I'm pro-Russia. I just don't think that funding Ukraine should be a top priority. I don't even think they should be getting billions, even in the hundreds of millions of our dollars right now. I don't think that's a top priority because
what do you think the top priority should be? What should the top priority? What should the top priority be right now in America?
In America?
Yeah, where should we be using that money instead?
Okay, are you talking about the money that's going directly to Ukraine?
Well, you said we're giving too much money in foreign aid. Okay, where do you want the foreign aid money to be spent at in America?
Aid on American citizens, aid for, inner city hospitals, aid for, nursing homes for people who are dying.
Okay.
Where there's
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
neglected
But
people and
I will
stuff,
say, when it comes to like Kamala Harris versus Trump, like the policies you're saying align a lot more with Kamala. Even when it comes down to like Israel.
Man, okay. You cannot say I don't want to hear that she was just vice president either. You cannot say that she did not let Netanyahu steamroll her. What about anything how she handled while she was in office during the Gaza war? What is one thing she did that makes you think she would be
first
strong
off,
in Israel? And I'm not
no.
Trump.
Okay, listen to what I said.
Trump's
Listen to what I said.
being
No.
strong
What did
either.
I say though? What did I say though? I said for domestic issues, 100% Kamala Harris. When it comes to spending money to support American citizens and working class Americans, Trump is cutting the shit out of that. He's cutting the shit out of veterans programs for disabled vets, for small businesses owned by disabled vets, for the veteran suicide hotline. He's cutting that and giving it the tax cuts for the wealthy. So domestically, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden is 100% more in line with what you said. But like for Trump and Israel, I mean, at least Kamala Harris said that like Democrats will say Netanyahu is not a good, like he should be out of there. Democrats are at least anti-Netanyahu. They don't believe he wants peace. They at least called for a true ceasefire, and they had humanitarian there were restrictions on what weapons Israel could use, and we were at least like pressuring them to give more humanitarian aid. Trump removed all restrictions. Okay, he removed all restrictions. Pete Hegseth said they could be more lethal now. They could kill more people quicker. And yeah, Trump wants to completely occupy and ethically cleanse. So I would say Trump is 100%, like 5 million % worse on Palestine than Harris.
Well, see, I view the Democrats on Netanyahu kind of like you view Trump on Putin. Like they'll sit up there and say, "Yeah, he's not a really good guy, but what are we gonna do?" Like that's how I feel. Treated Netanyahu.
Well,
like
Democrats will say Netanyahu does not want peace. Trump says Putin does want peace and blames Ukraine. So even on that, it doesn't really work out. But I mean,
well, once again, I'm not for Russia whatsoever.
I know, but Trump is. Trump is pro Russia. Just for the audience.
He kind of is, man. I mean, I'm not denying that whatsoever. I'm not denying that he's pro Russia. It honestly kind of makes me sick. But I still think that.
Yeah, what happened to America, dude? Okay, so I'm gonna predict you real quick. I'm gonna predict you. I bet you would consider voting for an economic populist. You don't love socialism, but you'd probably support someone like Bernie Sanders because he's genuine, and also you don't agree with Democrats on social issues, is what I'm guessing you're gonna say.
Okay, you were right about, I guess, one thing. All right, here's the last two people that I had any amount of faith for.
Okay.
The first one was the vet. I had a little bit of faith in him. I don't think he was like the Elon Musk type, but what did he do? He, just gave up. He realized it was an uphill battle. They wasn't going to, put up with his, ideas, and so he just said F it. Now, okay, prior to him, the guy before him that I had most faith in did the exact same thing he did. He rolled over, and that was Bernie Sanders. But that's what did he do? He won West Virginia. You seen it live on TV when he just threw his mic up. He rolled over. And I
think he's just a good guy. I think Bernie's just a good overall human. So his
yeah,
rollover is just
totally
supporting who he thinks is going to maintain America.
If you're gonna roll over, why are you in politics?
No, but rolling over. But this is this is a very low level take though. This is a low level take because Biden's policies were littered. Every good thing Biden did domestically was Bernie Sanders. Bernie influenced Biden's policy more than anyone even realizes when it comes to workers' rights, when it comes to the infrastructure bill, chips and science, infrastructure, inflation reduction, like all that stuff had Bernie Sanders' hands all over it.
The best thing that he ever did was let Bernie Sanders have a role and stuff. But
that's what I'm saying. Bernie Sanders is not an egomaniac, so he was gonna roll over. It looks like he rolled over, but what he really did was he traded his public persona for political power, and he actually influenced policies because he cares about people, and that sucks because people that care about people don't get elected as easily. So Trump hates everyone. He's gonna get power because he wants power. People like Bernie Sanders, they want power to help people, but they don't want power to the point where they're going to try to burn the system to the literal ground. But yeah, it's complicated. I mean, yeah,
I
populism
still
is
think
interesting.
you guys put way too much faith in Kamala, though. Yeah, I mean,
No, I don't have
just
faith
flat
in
out
her. Donald
think
Trump is
she
literally
was
just
a-
like he's literally just American Christian nationalist American Hitler. Like yeah, he's not, but Musk might be. But he's literally pro-Russian. He's anti-American scum. Like that's the point though. Like Kamala Harris would be pro-Constitution. Trump does not give a shit about that at all. And I'm not a fan of I don't like Kamala Harris. I don't like Kamala Harris, but it 100% would have been better than what Trump is doing right now with like purging FBI agents and releasing the January 6 people that beat up cops and saying that Zelensky's a dictator and cutting Medicaid, cutting $900 billion from Medicaid and cutting veterans programs to give tax cuts to Elon Musk and his friends. That never would have happened. The richest man in the world blazing through our government profiles and giving himself government contracts and our taxpayer dollars. That never would have happened under Democrats. We had actual consumer protections under Democrats. Trump ended all that shit.
I have a question about the Medicaid stuff because I have not had time to look into any of it. I have only heard things. Okay, with that $900 billion cut, this is how it was basically explained to me. If you are part of a family that at least one adult in the house is working, but you're still at like poverty level income and you have kids and stuff like that, you will not be affected. From the way that I heard it, now I don't know if it's true. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know if you've had time to really like research it because I haven't. But from what I have heard, the only people that are really going to be affected by Medicaid would be like single individuals who are over age, who really don't have like a whole lot wrong with them. Like we're not talking about people that are like rolling around in wheelchairs and stuff like that. Now that's my understanding. Do you know if that's the case? Because
well, the biggest
I
thing would be
truly don't know.
like the under Obamacare, Medicaid was expanded. So they want to end that expansion. Right now, the federal government makes sure that states have an equal amount of, and this is the funny thing too, because Democratic policies help red states. Red states are more likely to be poor. They don't contribute much to the budget. They really do suck from the federal budget. Democratic states usually add to it, like California and New York. The red states have like Texas and Florida, but those are more like Florida's a tourism state completely. Our economic producers are New York and California. But red states in general, they have all the poor states in the middle of America. So this would mostly affect poor states because the federal funding for stuff like Medicaid, they want to shift more costs to the states. So it's going to hurt more red states. It's going to hurt red states more than it'll hurt blue states because blue states have the money to keep on funding things like Medicaid a little bit more. But still, there will be cuts for low income, especially children, pregnant women, seniors that need help for where they live, if they need to live in a home, and a few other people with disabilities will be really affected. I don't know if disabled vets are going to be. It really depends because they're looking at cuts across the board for a lot of different programs. But just in general, a lot of people are going to be left without coverage because of what they're doing and shifting and cutting that to give all the money in tax cuts to the ultra wealthy is insane to me.
Yeah, I am 100% with you there. It's just from my understanding of it, which once again I haven't looked into it. It was just basically people who I don't want to say were cheating the system, but at the same time, like they weren't people who were like would be disabled to the point to where they weren't able to still do things. Like it was minor things that they were able to get by and be on Medicare. Because I'm all for Medicare and Medicaid. I'm not bashing it whatsoever, but I also don't want to see people take advantage of those resources either. Because my grandmother is on Medicaid, and I know that it's there for a reason, and I'm glad that it's there. I just don't want to see it being abused, and unfortunately, it seems like everything in this country is abused.
Okay,
these
but
days.
that's the propaganda, though. That's the propaganda. Is there abuse? Sure. There's going to be abuse of any system. But the fraud rates for Medicaid and Social Security, for example, are much lower than private insurance, and that's fine if some people slip through the cracks. When it comes to like waste, fraud, and corruption, that's all going to be in the top 1% of earners. And the richest people in society. Those are the people we have to go after. Because when it comes to like broad welfare policies, we want it to cover. We'd rather it cover too many people than to cover too few people. So we do make it very expansive, but I guarantee you it's pennies to the dollar compared to the savings we can make if we attack our ultra wealthy that don't pay their fair share in taxes, that have offshore tax havens, that screw over the little guy, that screw over consumers in general, all the big banks and everything that made the economy crash in 2008. Like if we crack down on them, it's a lot more money involved than it would be like fixing the handful of the very, very small percentage of people that are misusing Medicaid. And I'm someone growing up that might have been cut out if they had more strict guidelines. Because like we're talking about kids, we're talking about people with disabilities, we're talking about people that are stuck in between jobs. And like honestly, like I said before, like I'd rather help everyone, make sure we're helping everyone rather than leave people cut out because we're super hyper focused on cutting at that level. Because we're not attacking. They want us to fight people at the bottom instead of fighting people at the top, in my opinion.
Oh no, man, I 100% agree on that. Like, I actually take it as far as I believe that there should be a wealth cap. I don't believe that any person should be able to have any more than, especially in today's world, I don't see why $5 billion is not more than enough, you know. But
I think it's a freedom issue too. I think it's a threat to freedom for one person to have too much money. And that gives you too much power.
People don't understand. They don't ever talk about the one downside to capitalism. And unfortunately, okay, like we have laws, we've got monopoly laws where, you know, corporations aren't supposed to be able to get too big and control everything, but nobody thought to do that with money. And unfortunately, money itself has become monopolized, and it's in the hands of, you know, the 0.1%, and, you know, it's going to stay there, you know, like they have all control. And I definitely, like, you know, like I said, there's some issues that I would be considered really far left, but I also, you know, try to have common sense about things too.
Okay, well, I appreciate you calling in. I hope to see you around the channel. If you want to call in about a different topic on a different day, definitely feel free. I go live around 10 p.m. usually 10 p.m. Eastern time, pretty much every night. But yeah, thanks for the call in. Hope to see you around. If you have Discord, under all my videos, there's a Discord link. We usually have chats in Discord too, so hope to see you around there as well. But yeah, I appreciate the call.
All right, sounds good, man. Later.
All right, see you. All right, guys. Let me just talk to you guys for a second because I'm probably just gonna get off. Billionaires are the problem. Yeah. I wonder at the highest estimates. At the highest estimates, how much money would we lose in Medicaid from fraud? Highest estimates. How much would we lose from Medicaid, from fraud and abuse? In terms of total tax dollars. Actually, crap, I forgot the Medicaid fraud is actually the people doing the transactions. Like, didn't Rick Scott do Medicaid fraud? Wait a second. Didn't Rick Scott... Is he the one that did? Is he the Medicaid fraud? Wait, he is the one. Yeah, Rick Scott defrauded Medicaid for $1.7 billion in the largest healthcare fraud settlement. Wait. The largest healthcare fraud settlement in U.S. history. Now Rick Scott wants to cut Medicare. After he wants to cut it now. He said it was from political persecution. I hate politics. I hate America, dude. Rick Scott defrauded Medicaid, wants to cut Medicare. And he said it was because of political persecution that he got in trouble, not because he defrauded it, bro. Oh, bro. It's like Andrew Tate saying that George Soros is the person that said he freaking did all the crimes. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Both are alive. One on my phone and one on my laptop. Yeah, I have one YouTube Shorts stream, then I have one horizontal stream. So the YouTube Shorts, I try to funnel people from there into the horizontal. Both are live usually. I'm gonna end the short stream because I'm gonna get off. I just wanted to come say hi tonight because I said I was stream. I cannot stream tomorrow. Okay, I cannot stream tomorrow, so I wanted to hop in today. You can hop onto the horizontal chat. We could talk real quick if you want a chat. If you want the chat. Yeah, I'll be off tomorrow. I'll be back Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, Sunday. Isn't USAID a form of diplomacy for our country? Yeah, USAID prevents wars. USAID helps us a lot. It's one of our best value U.S. Federal agencies. But people that don't know what USAID does, they don't have independent thought. They're mad because they heard that they did like they funded like a $30,000 gay parade somewhere, and they're pissed off about it because they don't have the critical thinking ability to like just say like, oh, I don't like this one thing, let's debate about that and cut that one part and keep the others. They're like, no, cut the whole thing, because they're kids. And they are kids. They need to grow up and learn how to do some research for themselves. Like, it's actually pathetic. Don't just believe tweets, bro. You're probably grown, man. Do some freaking research. Know your shit, bro. There's no excuse. You have Google. You don't got to be a scholar to look shit up. It's not the season for people to be like, oh, they don't know any better. All these Putin sympathizers. You mean the president for this Putin sympathizers? You mean the president of the United States? Hearts and minds. But no, dude, we gotta blow up people instead. Why are there so many people? Oh no, Teague's in the community chat and Discord. I'm not going in there, bro. If Teague's in there, I'm not going in there. If Teague's in there, I'm not going in there, bro. There's no way. There's no way. If I don't know, will you stay? What? How much we talking? How much are we talking? How much of a donut are we talking right now? What are we talking right now? What kind of cash we talking? What kind of cash we talking, dude? What kind of cash we talking? What kind of cash? You're so confused. What are you confused about? I have 2 streams usually. I don't know, I'm reckless. Very Jewish of you to talk cash. Slick Nick, you're so cool. Are you new here, Kelly? I don't remember seeing you. I might have. Are you new here? No one should go. Yes, I agree. No one should go broke from a medical bill. Yeah. Chill, Kyle. You've seen Kelly before? The Jew hatred is so crazy. Yeah, it's not like people blaming Jewish people for Israel are so annoying. Like, I'm pretty sure most Jewish people don't agree with the Israeli government or Netanyahu. Oh, you co-fied the other. Thank you. Thank you for coffeeing. I say co-fied. Coffeeing. Coffeeing. I'll be honest, I have nothing else to talk about tonight. I'm kind of gassed. I'm not gonna lie. Objection. The Project 2025 tracker? Oh. Here. You put it in the regular chat, I think. In the regular chat? Somewhere. Stream already over? Where? He's live? Oh, I should put a link in the stream. I'm sorry. I'll do that. I am seeing some more Republicans come out against Trump for being pro-Russia. So that's a good development.
New donation from Kelly R.
Kelly.
$20.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. I'll stay for a little bit. The 2025 tracker. I did look at it a little bit. I did not look through it though. Oh my god, dude. Teague, DJ, and Raistlin are in the chat right now, and Red. That's a interesting bunch.
New donation from the Deep State. $10. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Deep State. Thank you, Deep State. All right, let me do this real quick. 1 second. I'm going to put my shorts stream back up, okay? We'll take another call, man. Just because you guys donated. Thanks for the donations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. All right, kids. Who lives in the pineapple under the sea? Or is the sea? Be something you wish. Did any YouTube commentators give a take on the good political minds like Asmongold? Bro, I cannot watch the Zelensky thing. I just can't watch it. I cannot watch the Zelensky thing. I can't do it.
I'll tell you what's funny. I made fun of the fucking Twitter guy for fucking Sieg Heiling not once but twice, and I never look at my emails. I was
Thank you for
scrolling
gifting. Thank you for gifting a membership. Soul for Music. Soul for Music. It must be a changed name. Thank you for another gifted membership. Thank you.
through my emails, and it said my Twitter account had been flagged for I don't even tweet anymore. It had been flagged for what a fucking baby. Just like Hitler. A fucking baby. Because that's another thing. All of these people that are into fucking Hitler, you know what I mean? And like, look at this guy like he was some sort of fucking hero. The guy's one of the biggest fucking cowards ever. All the pain and all the suffering that guy's caused, and the war crimes the Allies had to commit, firebombing fucking cities to get that motherfucker. When it came time for him to pay the price for all the suffering he caused millions and millions and millions of people, did he face the music? Nope. He gave himself a nice, quick, painless fucking death. That's your fucking hero? Fucking coward is what he was. He should have faced the fucking music, and he didn't. Anyway.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how upset were you when Daddy Trump officially declared there are only 2 genders? I think you should be offended that that America's anti-scientific and America doesn't know there's like 30 different biological sexes. If you think there's only 2 biological sexes, your education system has failed you. Because there's more than that from a scientific perspective. I know we don't do science in the Trump world, but there are more than that. Just like objectively in science. Science rules. Bill Nye, the science guy. Here.
This is the world we live in, where you got to remind people that guy was a bad guy that destroyed millions of people's lives, families, and his own country. His own countrymen paid the price for what he did. He This is another thing, too. Oh, that guy went straight to hell. It's like, how does he go straight to hell? What does God say about that? He made that guy. Right? I just don't understand that. Like how he gets absolved of that.
I think you hate yourself, probably.
God created everything, yes, including Adolf Hitler. He really did create us in his image.
Jesus,
like
dude.
Us,
that's a lot.
He is also not perfect.
That's a lot.
He goes down fucking looking every once in a while. All right, Beatles B-sides.
That's interesting.
How about the fact that
I did not hear that part.
The Twitter guy he's not even from here. He's from South Africa. He comes to this country and wants to turn it into a fucking dictatorship.
Thank you for another gifted membership, guys. Thank you, Suri.
Feel that we deserve democracy. Can you just imagine doing that? Going to another country and just deciding, yeah, you know what? I'm going to change this form of government because I've decided. Yeah, he doesn't mind living under a dictatorship as long as he's on the good side of it. Fucking laminated face cunt. Hey, now what are you going to do? Reflag my account?
In the immediate aftermath of Trump's infantile, disgusting, and overtly anti-American meltdown.
Infantile, disgusting, and overtly anti-American. True. Ooh.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of the Democratic Party's biggest stars.
Ooh.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of the Democratic Party's biggest stars. When she was first elected in 2018, she was very much an outsider, a social media phenomenon, often a critic of her party's programs and leaders. Now she's seen as more of an insider, a somewhat more senior figure, still a big star. And so we brought her here to Studio One to ask what she thinks her party can do with its current dilemma. Democrats are out of power in Washington. They're watching President Trump enact his agenda, and they know.
Nah, bro. The real firebrand, the leader of the Democratic Party, is Gerald Connolly, bro.
The president has great appeal with a large part of their traditional base, the working class, people Ocasio-Cortez would feel that she would like to represent. Here's some of our conversation. And I want to begin with how you see your party as an opposition party at the moment. Mm-hmm. If you had to pick one word, what is a word that describes the state of your party right now?
Oh, boy.
I think a word to describe the state of the party is resolved. If I had to pick one word, it would be resolved.
It's not shocked or dismayed or anything like that at this moment?
I mean, in
on
this
the defensive?
moment, I think we
firmly determined. I did not know what resolved meant. I'm a stupid liberal. Are the Democrats firmly determined?
Moved through shock.
Sure.
I think we've moved through dismay. I think we've moved through the 5 stages of grief. I think.
You know what? I actually agree with her take, because when I saw the thing today with Zelensky and Trump, I did not even feel mad about it. That's why I can't watch it. It's like going through grief and then coming out on the other end. You know what I mean? It's like a bad memory. It's just something we're dealing with. There's no reason to even like watch it and put ourselves through that. It's so cringe to me. I cannot watch it. But it is like we're going through grief and everything, because the first time you're mad, you're shocked, you're like, whoa, this is happening. But now it's like, okay, this is happening. This is happening. How are we going to deal with it?
We've moved through that defensiveness, but it is, I think, a rapidly evolving situation. And I would say this week, especially in the light of last night's budget vote.
Well, yeah, Trump made it look like a reality television show, because he only does good in reality television. He only made money in reality TV. He tried making today look like The Apprentice, so he could say some dumbass line like, "You don't have the cards. You don't have the cards," without and say a bunch of lies and shit.
Moment right now today is resolved.
We're talking here on a Wednesday, the night before there was this budget vote. Every single Democrat voted no. Mm-hmm. Do you consider that an accomplishment, that your party was united, even if it was united in a no?
Yes. I mean, of course, if we were not united in yesterday's vote, I think we would be in far, far, far deeper trouble. But the fact that there is this much unity is important. It is, I think, a baseline prerequisite for the moment to come and the fight over.
I feel like, she's going to Medicaid, Medicare right now, but the line you should use is Democrats are against it, not because of partisan lines or party lines. It's because, Democrats are against cutting Medicaid and giving free money to the richest people in society, cutting money from our vets and giving it to the richest people, giving government contracts to whoever the highest bidder is, like Elon Musk. So yeah. Remember, Hakeem Jeffries would be like, Medicare. Crap, I can't do his voice. Medicare. Wait, what does he sound like again? Hakeem Jeffries. In terms of, listen, if I wanted to sound not genuine in an interview, listen, in terms of Medicaid, we need to protect and defend Medicaid from the evil MAGA, Republican, radical extremists. I don't know if that's right, Cadence. I forget who that is. Who is Hakeem Jeffries? I don't even know.
Huge swaths of the American economy.
Do you assume that Republicans are going to give you the issues that are going to allow you to come back?
I do not make that assumption. I do not believe that elections are given. I don't think of them. I know many people think of them as natural pendulum swings, and I completely understand why that is. But I believe that in order for us to not just win a majority, but to win decisive majorities that allow us to govern, we need to be as strategic and tactical as possible. But I do believe that the Republican Party is making certain large errors right now and that they are underestimating the public.
What are the errors?
I think that issuing a mandate to the Energy and Commerce Committee to cut $880 billion specifically, they are creating certain very specific numerical mandates in the budget cuts, and they're demanding them from very specific areas that make it nearly impossible for them to keep their promises.
$880 billion is the cut over 10 years from Medicaid, if I'm not mistaken.
From the Energy and Commerce Committee, whose jurisdiction is overwhelmingly Medicaid and Medicare, correct?
Okay. And you think that is a mistake?
You know, she has a really nice voice, dude. Her voice is really nice. Her voice is really, like soothing. I think she should run, dude. I think she should run. I think she should run for president. I know she's kind of like I guess people say she's known as a radical. She's not popular enough. I think she would be. I think she would be. She's a star, bro. She's a star. She has all the intangibles. She can make herself more popular. She understands the media. She understands the game more now. She has some things she wants to actually do that'll change the system for, you know, to actually be fundamentally better. Yeah, she just has that quality. She has that quality to her. And I also think a lot of Republican men voting Trump will vote for her because she's attractive, and they're a bunch of little beta babies.
That we'll come back to them.
And they need a mommy instead of a daddy.
Why?
President Trump has gone on the record saying we're not going to touch Medicaid.
She's known as a radical among people who would never vote Democrat. I mean, yeah, you could look at Bernie Sanders, and he has like huge crossover appeal. And those voters who say they support Trump and Bernie, like they also support AOC. She had the biggest number of voters from Trump. Like people that voted Trump and her, they split their tickets and voted for her in her district. So like, I think she's like a top person. The populism works. The sounding genuine. I don't think Trump sounds genuine, but he is genuinely a bad guy. But she's a genuine person from the working class. She's actually pissed. Yeah, I mean, she has intangibles that you have to just know it. You have to just know it to know it, dude.
The Republican Party is saying over and over again, we are not going to cut Medicaid. We are not going to touch Medicaid.
Thank you for $2. Do you like the Gorillaz Indies band? I only listen to like indie music if I'm playing like a video game, like a skater game, or like there's a game called Descenders where you do like tricks on a bike, mountain biking, and like ATV games. I feel like indie music goes well with those. Thank you for the $2. I mean, I listen to music like that, but it's not my go-to. I listen to like 99% rap and R&B. Maybe some rock, new metal. Not really new metal, actually. I liked new metal when I was a depressed teenager. But yeah, mostly rap and R&B.
Care, and they cannot consistently hold both the $880 billion cut promise and not touching Medicaid.
Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, said just this week, come on, there's waste, fraud, and abuse. We're going to cut it out without affecting anybody's benefits. You don't believe that?
Sure, I think you can cut a bit here and there, but it does not add to $880 billion. Just
Republicans right now, you can ask them any question. They're going to say, we're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. And that's going to be what they say for everything. Waste, fraud, and abuse, because their voters don't demand answers. Their voters want slogans. Their voters will not ask, where is the waste, fraud, and abuse? Because all the Republicans need to do is be like, hey, guys, we're gonna cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security because of waste, fraud, and abuse. And then when they have no proof of fraud and abuse, they're going to say, hey, but trans people, immigrants, trans people, be scared, be very afraid. So they don't have to actually talk about any policies. That's a Republican strategy.
Just last night, Republicans were saying kind of the highest water number that they could find was 50 billion. And that is if you cast the widest net and adopt all of their definitions of what waste is, what abuse is, long-term care, children's health insurance. That's still 50 billion. And they're talking about $880 billion. I mean, the math in what they are offering as waste does not square with the price tag and the mandate that they've been given.
So what happens at the other end? Ordinary people don't lose health care, I guess, but what happens, do you believe, if that...
Indies rock band? Yeah, I know Gorillaz. I know. I cannot think of a song by them. I cannot think of a song, though. I really cannot.
Cut actually becomes reality, which is another question as to whether it ever happens.
I definitely have listened to them.
If that cut becomes reality, it's important for people to understand, not just are people going to be thrown off of Medicaid, not only are Medicare recipients who receive, for example, long-term care benefits from Medicaid going to be affected, But people who are not on Medicaid are likely going to see
Oh,
their
yeah.
health insurance premiums go up, because the more people get kicked off of Medicaid, the more uninsured people there are in the United States, the more they use ERs, the more that they go directly to hospitals for care, and the cost of uninsured people is oftentimes then borne in health insurance.
And dude, another argument for Medicaid for all my amazing warriors in chat, all right, that wants to spread actual facts about policy. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, they keep rural economies alive. Rural hospitals would not exist without Medicaid and Medicare. They keep hospitals alive. They help hospitals survive. They help the medical profession be a thing, especially in areas that don't have that many people, especially if the area is more poor. So if you live in a rural area, there's still a lot of areas that don't have hospitals in rural areas. But with these Medicaid cuts, a lot of those hospitals are going to close down. In Alabama, I think like 25 hospitals are going to close down. So we need to make sure we're on that right away. And Democrats need their ads ready for when the hospitals do close down. But if you don't use Medicaid, you benefit from other people having Medicaid. It's a stimulus to the local economy. And Social Security is too. These are all considered to be stimulus as well. It does not just help people; it's an economic tool as well to redistribute money through the economy and to keep these communities and these facilities thriving.
Insurance premiums as well and deductibles.
The erosion of Democratic Party support among working class voters has been pretty well documented. It seems to cross racial and other lines. It's real.
Yep. SNAP helps the farmers. Any assistance for food helps grocery stores and farmers and any pretty much everything. The system it's all designed to be like the water cycle. The money can go and circulate through the entire economy. It makes the economy more healthy all throughout it. Talking about efficiency, like Musk does, means killing people. I hope you realize that. Efficiency means you have no vacation days. Efficiency means you have no healthcare. If you want to talk about the capitalistic definition of efficiency for the CEOs, their efficiency is child labor and slave labor. We don't want America. We do not want America to be around like a business. If we wanted America to be around like a business, okay? If we wanted America to be around like a business, our founding fathers would not have created a government. We would have just been run by kings and whoever the richest people are.
And Democrats have talked a lot about what they maybe did wrong in the way that they spoke or the way they approached people or the way that they acted. But I want to flip that around a little bit. What do you think President Trump has done right?
USAID help farmers,
has appealed to traditional Democratic constituencies?
I think that some of his campaign promises, he does a good job of pairing what I would say some of the largest giveaways to the 1% and elites with very tangible policy promises.
No tax on tips.
Exactly. You take no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. These things sound great. They also directly appeal to very specific pockets of people who tend to be working class. And that creates a permission structure, right? You toss a crumb to us and you give the farm to the big fish. And I think he's very sophisticated in how he tailors those things together.
Some of those promises are things that Democrats themselves would like. Capping interest rates on credit cards, to give one example. Has there been some discussion among Democrats that you're almost a little envious? He's gotten ahead of you.
Okay, so if you cap interest rates on credit cards, you definitely need to cap interest rates for loan sharks for like 400%. But if they're capped at 10%, for example, then you'd have to mandate credit for poor people because they would not be able to build credit. If you're poor, the companies would just not give you a credit card. If they had to be held to 10% interest, you could just not build credit if you're poor. So I mean, there should be a cap, but 10% seems a little low for that purpose. The cap should probably be like 30% if they're going to do a cap of some kind, or 25% or something like that. I'd assume based off the market factors, because I feel like they just would not give credit to people, like I said.
You on some of these issues?
Well, the credit card interest rate cap is my bill from 2019 with Senator Sanders, and
I'm trying to think how that would actually function. How would we ensure that poor people can get credit? Would they still get credit cards? Is it still a good enough APR for banks to give out credit cards to poor people? Do they still need to? I really don't know how that. I really don't know how they. Maybe their margins are good enough on the default rates and everything that they'd be fine at 10%. I really don't know.
We're having some bipartisan momentum on it. Senator Hawley is interested in working with Senator Sanders and myself. I've also
Well,
been working with
Holly's
some Republican colleagues.
Gooner, so.
But it is a signal that Republicans understand the trouble that they are in trying to pursue their own agenda in a very naked form. They need certain fig leaves, and they are sophisticated about that. But I think what people are seeing now is that increasingly they feel lied to, right? That these were campaign promises. Maybe they'll pass, maybe they don't, maybe they won't. But there is, I think, a slingshot effect that's happening right now when people are seeing the mass layoffs in the federal workforce, the cutoffs in life-saving research, the real discussions from Elon Musk.
Yeah, I love MAGA laughing at the federal workers getting fired, not realizing a lot of the federal workers are literally disabled vets getting fired from their jobs, and that they're like, yeah, the federal workers don't do real jobs. And meanwhile, it's like a disabled vet gets fired from their job helping vets that are dealing with suicidal thoughts and depression. It's like, oh yeah, you really own the liberals, buddy. Good job.
Calling Medicaid recipients and people who receive SNAP and other food assistance a parasite class. And I think people are realizing that the fig leaf was the fig leaf, and it wasn't actually, what's on the box wasn't what's inside.
Do you think the president has changed the subject effectively since he was elected?
I don't think he's changed the subject. I think he is who he's always been, but I think certainly some people feel that way.
I think of another aspect of this, though. Dean Phillips, one of your fellow Democratic members, was on television this past week, Fox News, as a matter of fact, and he appeared to wish Democrats acted a little more like Trump in this way. He wished that they would appeal to business people, to get smart people into government, to talk about efficiency. He seemed to wish Democrats would do what Elon Musk is doing, even if he doesn't agree with the way that Elon Musk is doing it.
Efficiency's not a real thing, though. It's not a real thing.
Say that instead of appealing to other
working class
politicians,
people,
we should be appealing to the American people.
Yes.
And if you ask
AOC. Dean Phillips is stupid.
The American people what they think of what Elon Musk and DOGE are doing with government right now, they are vehemently opposed. The reactions right now are not just in Democratic districts, they are in Republican districts. Even Republicans in my district, they're saying, I voted for Trump. I did not vote for Elon Musk. I did not vote for this. I did not vote for mass buyouts of the federal workforce. We did not vote for
Good night. Oh, yeah, by the way, guys, for anyone here right now, I'm going to finish out this video because I was paid donations to hang out with you guys for the parasocial relationship. But I will not be streaming tomorrow. It's my birthday, okay? I'm taking the full day off. This is my birthday week, okay? Taking the full day off politics tomorrow. Oh, nice. Supporter member for a month, Christine. Nice, thank you. If World War III starts tomorrow, I'm not talking about politics, all right? I'm completely off tomorrow, all right? Take a break this weekend. Do a mental health weekend for your mental health, okay? Everyone, don't look at politics tomorrow. Take a day off. Go outside a little bit. I'll see you Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. This video is 20 more minutes in it. We're just going to hang out and watch it, okay? Thank you.
Of gutting NASA and then having the contracts go to SpaceX. We did not vote for Starlink to start replacing critical FAA operations.
Which is the thing that's in the news. It's being discussed. Okay.
Yes. And I think that there is a very, very deep corruption at the core of this. If Elon Musk wanted to divest himself of his businesses and enter public service with
thank you for the $5. Thank you. Happy birthday week.
So-called business expertise, that is his prerogative. But so long as he maintains.
That's a thing that should be a law. It should be a law to divest from your business interest if you're a government employee. I feel like we just have to have a strict line. I don't care if we reject talent. You should pay government employees more and make them divest.
A vested financial interest in gutting the federal government. He is acting in his own self-interest and not those of the American people.
I want to underline who we're talking about here, who you think is concerned about this. There are blue state voters who voted for Donald Trump. New York was more for Trump this time than in past elections. Your district was more for Trump than past elections, and you've had social media discussions with people who voted both for you.
I mean, he also lies to people. Trump does, so.
And for Donald Trump. Do you truly believe, though, that class of voters is paying attention and cares about the details of what you see as corruption and exactly the way that Musk is going about
it depends
what he's doing
on what way you
present
it.
I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it. And I represent a district
the messaging
that
matters,
is
though.
Very working class. And by that, I mean that
the AOC might get that result, but other Democrats really
engage in a tremendous amount of constituent services. This is not the kind of district that is where town halls are typically filled to the absolute brim. People are working 2 jobs. They're doing these kinds of things. I am getting emails. I am getting phone calls. I had a telephone town hall last week that had really high numbers of attendance of people. And we ask, out of all of these attacks on immigration, the assault on Medicaid, the budget conversation, and Musk's access to government, which is the thing you are most concerned about? And overwhelmingly, even I'm surprised, overwhelmingly, the answer is they are concerned about this incursion in what they see as corruption into the federal government.
To what extent is immigration as an issue part of your problem with working class voters?
I mean, I guess
See?
my question would be what...
This is hard question. Bad. Had. Okay, so the question would be, what are you mad about with immigration? Is it the immigration system being broken, or do you not like immigrants? Because that's the big issue right now. It's like, do you know what's happening with the immigration system, or is the computer screen scaring you because of the scary people that you don't understand and that they speak different languages? It's a...
But what does the word problem mean?
AOC. I love AOC.
People voting for the other side and not for you.
Yeah.
Feeling that Democrats are not serious about the issue in ways that concern them.
I think that
Depends
we
how.
have a problem on immigration because of the lack of progress that we've had on this issue. And as we know, Republicans weaponize that lack of progress. Of course, there was famously a bipartisan...
Dude, AOC is a beast, dude. This is what I mean. Go right to the actual fixes. Don't even engage in their dumb narrative, bro. Don't even engage in their narrative. Go right to freaking problem solving, dude.
Bill last year that the Republican majority in the Senate and
this
also
is our
in the
palate
House
cleanser
were willing to pass.
before
President Biden was willing to work with them on
this weekend off.
And Donald Trump said, do not solve this problem. As long as it is broken,
True.
then it will be politically beneficial
AOC.
for us. And so it is a problem not just for Democrats, it's a problem for the entire country that Republicans do not want to solve any sort of issue with immigration. They are completely uninterested in addressing undocumented people, in addressing a path to citizenship.
Well, they do want to address undocumented people by removing them. I mean, that's what the president is attempting now.
Even then, you see what Republicans did with the Lake and Riley Act recently in their passage with it, in that they authorized the complete gutting of due process. So now you can take a DACA recipient, a dreamer, just accuse them of a crime.
And deport them.
And however, they also understand that they don't even have the infrastructure to do that. So they're actually creating not
like
just it's not even about creating
almost.
a deportation pipeline. They are creating a private prison camp.
Private prison camp pipeline.
They're still creating pipelines to just increase this problem here in the United States.
Why do you think this issue did seem to be a political loser for Democrats among key groups and key constituencies?
Because
what you say
racism is emotional.
I think that
it's hard to combat it.
lack of a path to citizenship. In
being afraid to talk about it. Democrats not offering a counter narrative, being too scared to even talk about the issue. You can offer counter narratives instead of ceding the entire narrative to Republicans, including like trans issues too.
Addressing comprehensive immigration reform creates a large population of undocumented people in the United States, and that is allowed to be weaponized in many ways. We have a large population of undocumented people in the United States. Overwhelmingly, it is not because they crossed the southern border of the United States. It's because they came here in a documented fashion and overstayed a visa and became undocumented. And it is the lack of ability for us to expand paths to citizenship, modernize paths to citizenship over decades, that create this bubbling issue that Republicans are allowed to weaponize.
And you have voters in places like Arizona, which is a swing state that Democrats lost, or Colorado, which is generally a blue state, saying there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of lawlessness. I don't know what to do here. Who's looking out after me?
And I think when that is paired with divestment from the social safety net, when that is paired with lack of progress on minimum wage, when that is paired with rising costs of living, it sets the stage for a strong man to point to any marginalized group and say it's their fault.
The rise of fascism.
Looking at the gross income inequality that we have and its actual causes in the United States. And
I want her, dude, to run for president.
That, I think, is the quandary that Republicans find themselves in, because even on the debate stage, you had Vice President Vance and others trying to say that undocumented people are why we have a housing crisis in this country.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
They can fulfill their entire agenda. You will never deport your way into more affordable rent. You're never going to deport your way into being able to make your mortgage meet or make your groceries more affordable. In fact, mass deportations may only make those things much more expensive, actually.
Yep.
And in my view, people
doing
voted to lower their
reactions.
groceries. People voted to try to make their lives affordable. And
Trump
right now,
lied.
the Trump administration is
Trump lied,
already
people died,
running
dude.
into roadblocks into fulfilling that promise. And they are in trouble.
The
And,
roadblocks where they never cared in the
that's an
first
issue they're
place.
gonna have to contend with.
You had a recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security
Tom Homan.
czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
Talking about the constitutional rights.
My
How dare
job
she?
is to
How dare she?
educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections. And
How dare
in
she?
particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
How dare she do that, dude?
Homan was
Tom
upset, I
Homan
suppose,
hates the
because he felt that
Constitution.
you were giving advice to people who were here illegally.
Mhm.
Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I'm gonna
I
call the
have
principal.
not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
Really? What would your question be for the Department of Justice?
Well, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry. And are you going to do it?
What would you learn? What do you hope to learn? From that
AOC's
exchange?
gonna inquire to the DOJ, dude. Dude, AOC's awesome, dude. She's gonna inquire to them, dude. That's what you got to do.
I think it's important to know where
I'm
this
gonna tell the
administration
DOJ
stands
on you. That's what Homan
and if
sounds
they
like.
intend on
The
using political
DOJ, you're telling the
intimidation
immigrants their
to silence
rights.
their critics.
I'm calling the
interim U.S.
DOJ.
attorney here in Washington, D.C., where we are, Ed
AOC's
Markey,
a
has
beast,
several
dude.
times said he has reached out to specific Democratic lawmakers, such as Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democratic leader, to ask for clarification about various remarks that he regarded as threatening. I'm interested if you or your fellow Democrats are
If
at all
you say something
feeling
mean about
intimidated
Trump,
or
that's a
silenced.
threat, guys. It's a threat. You said Trump's a meanie pants. That's
I'm
a
not.
threat.
I think it's important to call this administration's bluff. I think that this
Yes,
is
it-
what authoritarians do. I think this is what kleptocracies do. I believe that this is what corrupt administrations do. They rely on the illusion of power, on the suggestion of
Dude, she should be the oversight
in
leader. I hate
order
the Democrats.
to try to get people to comply in advance.
And
And I think that one of our largest responsibilities is to not comply in advance.
Yes, AOC.
If they want to do these things, they can go ahead and do them and let the American people see what they intend to do.
Do you think there is a real risk of lawmakers being investigated, charged, arrested?
Potentially. I mean, we see that this administration is certainly wielding that threat, and we will have to see if they intend on carrying out their threats. If they are
I'll
to
tell you
be
what, dude.
believed
Arrest AOC and see what happens, bro. Arrest AOC and see what happens.
for
I swear.
what they are publicly suggesting, then the answer would be yes. But we will only find out if we call their bluff.
Do you think other Democrats are watching their words?
I think it's certainly possible, but I'm not sure. I mean, I can
Listening to her versus Hakeem Jeffries is like drinking water versus cement, dude. Like, it's crazy.
not think of or point to any individuals who have said that. I do think that there are Democratic members of Congress who are preparing for that possibility.
How do they prepare?
I think they look to the possibility of litigation. I think they're saying, you know, do
Thank
we
you for
have
$2,
the,
Cup of
the
Joe.
best teams possible
Thank you, Cup of Joe. I
in
really
order
appreciate
to
it.
carry out our work?
Some Republican, or many perhaps, will be watching this, listening to this, and thinking, wait a minute, actually, you're the ones who are prosecuting us. You were the guys who are weaponizing the Justice Department. How would you respond to somebody who may be thinking that?
In what way? In what way? Is the very presence
Putting
of
Trump on trial would be their example, I suppose.
Yes, I mean, here's the deal. In the United States, there is a jury where we are judged by our peers, and he was found guilty in court on 34 felony charges. If people want to say it was weaponized, I mean, it is hard pressed to say that there's a partisan argument for that. You have Senator Menendez, famously,
Democratic senator from New Jersey.
Democratic senator from New Jersey,
Convicted, yeah.
and to 11 years in prison, I believe. You know, this.
Yeah.
We
No.
see
But like when the legal system affects Daddy Trump, it's unfair because Daddy Trump is my king.
to
so
11
it's
years in
unfair.
prison, I believe. You know, we see over and over again that there has historically been an independent Justice Department whose job it is to be separate and apart from the presidency and the executive branch. Just because someone was held to an equal standard of the law does not mean that.
But it wasn't equal because Trump never did anything wrong. Trump is a good boy, not a bad boy.
However,
that's my argument. That's my whole argument, guys.
Is that same previously independent?
It has to be
Department of
weaponized.
Justice.
Dude, of course the legal system was weaponized against Donald Trump. He is my Pookie Bear. My Pookie Bear doesn't do crime. Trump is my Pookie Bear. Okay? Okay, in any fair legal system, in any fair legal system, Trump would never be on trial for anything. He is my Pookie Bear. My Pookie Bear does no wrong.
And the US
nothing
Attorney's
wrong,
Office
dude.
is now turning around saying, we are not the American people's lawyers anymore. We are the president's lawyers. And that is a dramatic shift. That is a dramatic change.
Trump
in
is
the
my Pookie Bear,
structure
dude. He doesn't
of
do
our
anything
justice
wrong.
system.
It seems clear you would want to make a case then that this is a corrupt administration that's abusing power.
Thank you for $20, Sweet King Tanner. Is this your first time? Is this your first time here? Well, this is a bad stream, to be honest, Tanner. My stream last night was really fun. Last night's super fun because usually I start at 10. I start 10 p.m. Eastern, and we have like probably 10 to 15 callers. Like last night was super fun, so you got to come for this. Tonight was a boring stream. Like tonight was boring compared to what we usually do. So thank you for $20. I hope this is the second of many nights to come. Watching your stream. Well, thank you.
Does the Democratic Party have some challenge in making that case, though, because of certain things that go on in the Democratic Party, or even in your state of New York, or your city of New York, where your mayor is Eric Adams?
Yeah.
Who was indicted until recently, just for starters.
Well, I think it is important that we be not hypocritical in that. I've called for Mayor Eric Adams, to resign or be removed.
But if you ask Hakeem Jeffries his opinion, he'll be like, Hakeem Jeffrey, I mean, if you ask Hakeem Jeffries for his opinion, he'll say, Eric Adams is a person, and he'll walk away. AOC calls for Eric Adams to resign. AOC is a good, strong Democrat. We love AOC. If you ask Hakeem Jeffries, he'll say Hakeem Jeffries
if he refuses to do so. And this is what equal treatment in the eyes of the law means. It's that if you are a Democrat, if you are a Republican, we should both be held to the same standards. It's not, in fact, it's not even about the absence of corruption. It's the willingness to take corruption to account, to hold it to account, independent of one's party affiliation. And in Mayor Adams's case, what I think is transpiring is that, and again, what we saw coming out of the Southern District of New York.
If Elon Musk does anything wrong, Elon Musk will tell us, okay? He'll tell us if he... Bro, the White House really said that, bro. The White House really said that. If Elon does anything wrong, he'll tell us.
Also, in recent resignations and the letters that were made public, is that there was a pretty explicit quid pro quo arrangement that these attorneys saw.
This interview is from 15 hours ago. 15 hours ago. I'm probably going to get copyrighted for watching it, huh? Will they copyright me? I feel like NPR copyrights people.
In Mayor Adams approaching the Trump administration, saying, hey, you let me off the hook, and I will exchange public policy implementation, which is just as damning not only for Eric Adams, it's also equally damning in terms of corruption of the Trump administration.
Is there another problem Democrats face because you would like government?
I feel like I'm providing enough commentary though. I'm stopping this video a lot and I'm being really annoying. So I mean, I think I'm good.
To work, and there's a broad perception, including among many liberals and progressives, that government doesn't work very well. It takes forever to build something in this country, to give a very obvious example. We do have a couple million federal workers.
How about we tell Americans to stop being little baby brats and actually like look up how long it takes to build things? I want a new bridge built in one day. Like, yeah, dude. Like Americans expect, I don't even know what Americans expect anymore, bro.
It takes forever to build something in this country, to give a very obvious example. We do have a couple million federal workers, and a lot of people aren't sure how those people really touch their lives or do anything for them. Do you think government really isn't working well enough?
People are uninformed, for one, and for two, in the areas where it's not working well, people are being led in the wrong directions, or they have high expectations that are too high.
I think
for certain things.
it's not just it is about our society writ large
Yes.
is completely slanted.
Yes, this is
so
such
that
a good.
the gains that we have
Oh,
go
AOC,
to the
dude.
wealthy, go to the corporate class, go to the largest corporations in America who pay the least in taxes, and everyday working people who pay
The narrative.
much higher percentages of their income in taxes, seeing the least benefit in society. And that is a governance problem. It is a social problem. It is an economy-wide problem.
Yes.
And I think the boiling rage that exists at this sense of injustice, that you are working 1-2 jobs, you are scared to go to the doctor because you don't think that you'll be even able to afford a blood test, that you're working tirelessly and you're not even making $8-9 an hour in a lot of places in this country. I think that is what we consistently see. And then on top of it, everything feels increasingly like a scam. That not only are grocery prices going up, but it's like everything has a fee and a surcharge. And I think that anger is put out at government. It is put out at a lot of different areas. And
the key point here is that if people are getting less benefits, it's still going to affect them. So you can say like capitalism makes people come out of poverty, but the inequality is what matters. The power difference in society matters. So even if you're having a society today with the lowest amount of poverty of all time, it's still going to make people really upset if they see the wealthy making off much, much, much better than everyone else, regardless if they are materially suffering or not. So that's the main point here, is even if someone like is in decent economic conditions, or like they're able to eat, they're not in global poverty, like they're not in like in poverty by global standards, people still feel the inequality and get mad about it, and it makes the system more prone to fragmentation.
in terms of efficiency, our government can be tremendously efficient for the wealthy, but inefficient at times in delivering things for working people. That is not the same thing as justifying cutting the very few things that people actually interface with, going after the post office, going after the VA, going after Medicaid and Medicare. Those are two entirely different propositions.
Would you like a president to go in and break some china and mess things up, even if you don't like the way this president is trying to do that?
I think
no,
when we talk about
break it, what?
Breaking things, messing things up, I mean,
That
to
sounds
the
really cool
FAA,
for 12.
no. To the NIH, no. To our ability to contain Ebola before it gets on a plane and comes into the United States, no. I don't want someone being reckless with the most critical infrastructure. I don't want someone being reckless, abandoning experimental medical devices that are implanted in everyday Americans who have no other recourse because their disease is so far progressed. I actually don't want someone taking a wrecking ball to someone's chemotherapy to just see what happens. Now, I do think that we can examine certain things like Medicare Advantage that I think is a scam, that in the name of so-called efficiency, ironically enough, we have handed over huge amounts of healthcare disbursements to private insurers who are pocketing it and giving less coverage to the people who receive this than ever before. Sure, yeah, let's go after that. But I don't think we just destroy everything that we have worked so hard for as a country to become innovative, to become just, to have some of the only lifelines that people have in this country to a roof over their head or food in their children's stomach. No, I don't think that we gamble with that.
Representative Ocasio-Cortez, thanks so much for coming by.
Of course. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out. Have a good night. Appreciate it. Again, for anyone that needs to hear it again, I'll be off tomorrow. Taking off politics tomorrow. I'm not doing politics tomorrow, okay? No politics tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. See you again Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for all the donations. Really appreciate it. All first-time viewers, welcome to the Jolah Terriot. I don't say that ever, but welcome to the Jolah Terriot because I'm feeling corny tonight. Join Discord as well. You could join the community chats in there, whatever we talk after streams. Discord is in my descriptions of all my videos. Or mods post it every now and then in the YouTube chat. But yeah, have a good night, everyone. See you in Discord. No politic tomorrow. Well, I mean, today. No politics on March 1st. We're back on March 2nd. Thank you. Yeah, happy weekend. Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Cup of Joe. Thank you, Cam Research. Thank you, Sweet Tanner, King Tanner, Sulfur Music, Kyle, Magoo, Sprig, Notorious BF. Yeah, and AOC or bust. AOC or bust. Why not? Okay. See ya.